Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Daryl Stinson and Ryan Shea here. We just want to take a moment to greet you, to let you know a little bit about our stories, why we're doing this, and what you can expect to get from this private Facebook community. So, my name is Daryl. Again, I am the president, CEO of Second Chance Athletes. I've been speaking into the lives of athletes for a long time, since 2011 when I transitioned out of sports. My whole journey is that I got injured as a freshman.
Say hi to our weed whacker friend in the back, Mr. Weed Whacker. It's our first video. Why not?
Perfect.
Why not?
So perfect.
Why not?
So I got injured as a freshman, and that was supposed to be the end of my career. I had to have an emergency back surgery. But for me, sports was not what I did, it was who I was. And so I did not accept that my career was over, and I didn't want to lose my identity. So I signed a liability waiver to be able to keep my career alive. And I put my body through 2 years of absolute hell, drug addiction, manipulating the healthcare system, multiple epidural shots in the back, like whatever it took to numb the pain and keep that career alive is what I did. And that just came to a halt going into my senior year. I was able to be a starter and things like that, but at a cost to my health. And going into my senior year, I was taking too many opioids that it was thinning my blood to the point where every time I made contact on the field, my nose would bleed. Coaches found out that something was wrong, and they terminated my liability waiver. And that's when sports was officially done, and I couldn't manipulate my way out of it. And I had to face my greatest fear, was that I would have to find an identity and purpose beyond sports. It sent me down a path of depression and suicide. I made multiple attempts at suicide, and thankfully I had a life-changing encounter in a psychiatric unit. That was my turnaround point. And from there, I began to discover my identity and purpose beyond sports, and I've been able to build a life that I love. Watch this, believe it or not, more than I love my life as an athlete.
There you go.
And that's the place that we all want to get to, is that we love our current lives more than our former lives, and that we are just killing it in all areas of life. And so I was speaking, sharing this story, the long form with other people, and I was noticing that people were leaving inspired, right, but they weren't leaving transformed. And wanted to do something more, wanted to put something more official together. So thus Second Chance Athletes came, wrote a manuscript to a book, put together a framework. And in the process of me moving from Michigan, where I'm from, down to Georgia, I met this guy to my right, your left, or whatever. And I'll just let him kick it and tell a little bit about his journey and how we met, and we'll pick it up from there.
Yeah, sure. A lot of similarities in the identity piece. Grew up in Pennsylvania, small town. I was a big fish in a small pond. Ended up playing college baseball at a couple different places. Basically was floundering afterwards, wondering why my career didn't keep going, and decided to take a leap of faith, and made some choices along the way too to try and assist playing at the next level. And believe it or not, got a chance. Played professionally for a couple years, got done, really just got lost. I remember my wife.
Dude is killing it.
He's coming back. Hey man, he's coming back. So I got wrapped up in the uncertainty of what was next. Didn't know who I was without this game. I remember my wife kicking my butt out of the house one day, saying, "Hey, stop playing PlayStation and just throwing your resume on Monster. Go do something." Mm-hmm. So went through about 11 years of marriage without actually getting a finger on what exactly it was that still just kind of was in this heart of mine, taking up this space and trying to really just figure out what would give me happiness again. And just thankful that after that 11 years, I heard a gentleman who played in the NFL speak, and he said he was depressed when he got done playing. Wow. So that message just kind of was this arrow that got shot at me. I can't remember anything else he said that day. But that was about 3 years ago when I finally had this reflection of, wow, I was still holding on to this game for way too long. And as Daryl said, thankful that I've worked through about 3 years now of putting that behind me, the past being the past, and just really excited to continue this journey on what I know is going to be a better life now, even ahead of the sport that I used to play. So
absolutely. And in the process of me raising money for this organization to start, to get the brand out, the website up, things like that, ran into a lady named Brandy Winans.
Shout out, Brandy.
Shout out Pro Athletes Transition. And she was helping me with like this whole dynamic of like being an elite athlete and having all these disciplines and being married to somebody who didn't live that life and not treating my wife like my teammate. And she was helpful in that area. And then she's like, you got to connect with this guy named Ryan. He's near you. And so we just met, I think, at a Waffle House or something like that. And that's kind of become our spot now where we meet. Would have recorded this video at the Waffle House, but that would have been too much noise and stuff in the background. Man, that's just been a brother to me, and similar passion, cares, gets it. And he was already helping some people through the transition in different stages of life. Because it doesn't matter like what stage of life you are in or how long you've played. It's all about like athletic identity and how much you identify with that role as an athlete and value that and attach that to your identity. And so he was helping people, I was helping people. We were sharing stories and talking for like 3 hours instead of an hour. And man, we've just become the closest of brothers and friends. Okay, we're back. So got a phone call in the middle of recording that video, but I was describing how we started to do these huddles. And these huddles were in-person events where we were inviting some of our friends to just talk about transition and just really get into what their challenges was and what they wish they would have had provided to them prior to their transition out. That's right. And then just really just having that conversation about how we can help serve one another and just living our best lives after sports. And it was going well, and we wanted to start to bring other people in the Second Chance Athletes community into that discussion and other former athletes. And so that's what the private Facebook group, the online community, is about. For all former forgotten athletes or current athletes who this is a topic of interest for them, which it should be because we all have to transition one day. Yeah. And so now we have this community, and what can they expect from us, man?
Just to be real, right? I mean, I think both of us have kind of, through this experience, realized that these are conversations we wish somebody might have had with us. And not necessarily when we're playing, we kind of have this perception that it's never going to end.
Right.
The odds are 100%, sorry folks, it will be done and over with. But those conversations a year out, 2 years out, whatever it might be, that if somebody would have had with us as that was approaching or as that was actually going down, just maybe some ability for us to find happiness sooner, right? To find that transition piece, put it behind us, and move into what was next truly a lot faster than what both of us were unfortunately able to. So we're going to be vulnerable, we're going to be authentic, we're going to be real, no hiding anything, real conversations, stuff that we know that a lot of you have been through as well. And the biggest thing that I've always shared, and I think you've seen it, I've even made a t-shirt with it on the back, it says you're not alone. So that's it's a really hard place to get to. It's where the devil wants us to get, right? To where we feel like we're the only ones that haven't been through this and nobody else is. But at the end of the day, man, the biggest message that I've heard, doesn't matter what sport, doesn't matter how long, like you mentioned earlier, it's all about how much identity do we put on this thing. And when it's taken away, what's life look like?
Exactly. How do I rebuild my life? How do I go from this pinnacle mountaintop? I was the man, I was the woman, everybody knew me, everybody asked about my games, to nobody's calling me, nobody's texting me, and what do? I'm kind of at the bottom of the totem pole in my corporation now, or mid-level.
And even the schedules and even the statistics and the routines, all those things are gone. So this experience outside of sport is how to recreate that personally and with a party of one.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll cover like spiritual development. We'll cover the transition piece, everything that's involved with that. We'll talk about career development, personal development, just things that can help you, in your life and how to transition well and how to build the life that you desire and find that purpose in that identity and that fulfillment.
It's bigger
beyond sports. So, so excited. You guys, it's just like practice, right? Show up, hop in, engage, let's talk, don't be shy. Look, don't treat this as like I'm okay with the networking piece, right? Like, I'm fine with that. Like, that's one of the things that we want is to facilitate networking opportunities. But don't turn this into like I'm trying to get a secret photo out with a professional athlete or your favorite athlete. Like, just don't get creepy about it, right? Because y'all know, like, you didn't like all of that like press attention, when you were an athlete. So like, just don't turn it into that, right? Don't get starstruck by people or anything like that. Let's just treat each other as normal people and help one another. All right. So invite some of your teammates, your former teammates, your colleagues, anyone who you know that this group could be a blessing to, because we're going to start just pouring in content into this group, and you can expect a video from us soon. I won't tease it, but you can expect to see this content that's relevant that'll help you dominate your life after sports. All right. So we love you. Can't wait to get to know you more. Peace.
Peace.